Alright then guys, I'm going to be doing some various game benchmarks. The ones I'm going to be doing are, I'll do Batman Arkham Asylum, and right now the benchmarkings are all going to be at 1080p, and I'm going to be running the benchmarks at the settings that they recommend first, and then just all of them maxed out to see the difference. So yeah, Batman Arkham Asylum, Dirt 2, Dirt 3. I'll try to maybe do some gameplay of Duke Nukem. Also, I'll do a benchmark of Mafia 2, Metro 2033, maybe some gameplay on Portal 2. So on my Steam account, I'll be doing that, and also probably some gameplay of Call of Duty Black Ops. Also, let's see, I'll be doing Crisis 2. There it is. Maybe some gameplay on that, and some gameplay on Shift 2, maybe some gameplay on StarCraft 2 to see what frames I'll be running at, and also of The Witcher 2 to see how that runs. And yeah, I'll be doing those. Those are the ones that I'm interested in myself. So yeah, let's start it. Alright then guys, I'm going to be doing a benchmark of Dirt 2 at 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to be doing a multi-sampling of 4x, VSync off, normal aspect ratio, gamma at 1.0. I'm going to be doing it what they recommend, automatic settings, which is basically all low when you just hit the automatic. And right now the frames per second are 118 frames per second. I'll be running the benchmark right now. Just a quick note, right now, even though everything's at low, it still looks pretty good. I don't know if you could see that with the camera, but even at low settings, it looks really, really good. So I'm going to cut now, and we'll get back to the results. Alright guys, benchmark has completed. I just wanted to mention that hold on, I'm going to lower this shit. That while the game was running, it was really, really, really ultra smooth. Total frames of 9,532, average frame rate of 106.9, and a minimum of 92.1, which is really respectable. So now, I'll be running now the benchmark at everything maxed out. And I'll get back to that. Alrighty guys, now we're going to be doing the extreme benchmark of Dirt 2 with everything maxed out right now at 1920 by 1080 at 8x multi-sampling. Choose a preset on Ultra. Gonna run the benchmark. Right now it's at 56 frames per second. And again, the graphics look really, really good. And to tell you the truth, I could see a difference in graphics on the eye candy. A slight difference. There's more, you could see more detail on like the dirt and the water and stuff like that, but it's not that big of a difference. And also it's running really smooth. Like with the naked eye, I really don't see a difference. So we'll get back to the results. Alrighty guys, benchmark is completed. Taking a look here at the results. You can see the total frames of 5,551 with an average frames per second of 64.4 and a minimum of 48.5, which with everything maxed out on Ultra at 1920 by 1080, which is what most gamers are gaming at, it's extremely playable, really smooth. Like I said, with the naked eye you just can't tell the difference on the frames. So Dirt 2 is a good pass. I give it a thumbs up on the 6850. Extremely playable. Really happy with the results. And on to the next one. Alrighty guys, now we're doing Dirt 3 benchmark. Again at 1920 by 1080 with 4 times MSAA, VSync off. And we're going to choose a preset to automatic and see what it gives us. With preset automatic, it gives us all on high, which is awesome. And we're going to be running the benchmark right now. I'm actually pretty surprised that on Dirt 3, which I believe is a little bit more graphic intensive rather than Dirt 2 with my experience, that it automatically gives us all high specs, which is really cool. So I'll be cutting it off right now, let the benchmark run, and show you the results. A little bit of quick benchmark replay here. Kind of show you the details of it. Here are the results of 8,226 frames, total frames, and an average frame of 77.36 and minimum of 63.09. Really respectable. Now we'll be doing Dirt 3 maxed out on Ultra. Alright then guys, now let's do Dirt 3 on Ultra settings. 1920 by 1080 with 8x MSAA. Let's choose a preset here. On Ultra, which is by the way DirectX 11 now. And let's run the benchmark, which I have a feeling that it's still going to run extremely playable. On the automatic settings, which is basically all high on 4x AA, with the naked eye, I didn't see any hiccups, anything at all. It was running ultra smooth, and it looked really nice. So we'll see how this benchmark goes, and we'll get back to it. Alrighty guys, benchmark just completed on Dirt 3 with everything maxed out on Ultra. Again using the 6850, and we have a frame count here of 4,036, average frames per second of 41.88 and a minimum of 36.17. Again, with the naked eye, this game, even if you didn't run this benchmark and you're saying that 36 is pretty low on frames per second, everybody wants like 16 above, again, while the benchmark was running, to the naked eye, I didn't see any difference. I didn't see any glitching. I didn't see any hesitation. It was smooth as it can be. So Dirt 3 can run maxed out on a 6850 and run smooth. So yeah, that's good. I give that a fucking thumbs up. So let's go on to the next gaming benchmark. Alrighty guys, I'm going to be running Batman Arkham Asylum with the default settings on at 1920 by 1080. VSync I'm going to put on off. Obviously I'm going to have PhysX off since we don't have a PhysX card. With it on default, everything's set basically maxed out. That's cool. So I'll be running it as such with these particular settings. Alright then guys, I already started the benchmark. So right now the benchmark's running with default settings, which basically pretty much put it just about, I believe, maxed out. So with VSync off, I don't have anything running in the background like fraps or anything like that, because I kind of want to do like a real world look at it instead of like concentrating on fraps and seeing the frames, and you get bummed out if you see it drop too low or whatever. You want to see actual real world, you know, to the naked eye, see how smooth it is, see if it glitches in any way or slows down or whatever, where you could actually you know, tell a difference. So right now it's running and it looks really good, and it's running really smooth. So I'll cut here and get back to the actual results. Alrighty guys, the benchmark just completed and I got a minimum of 87 frames per second, a maximum of 180, and an average of 139, which is fucking extremely acceptable. I'm actually really surprised on this graphics card. It's running really well so far. I'm anxious to see how it's going to perform with like titles like Metro 2033 and Crisis 2, and also Mafia 2 and Battlefield Bad Company 2, stuff like that, where it's really GPU intensive. But yeah, Batman Arkham Asylum, totally playable. Cut here, go back to the settings. I want to max everything out on Batman and run it again. Alrighty guys, running Batman again, Arkham Asylum. Basically the difference between the stock settings, at the default settings, and now the, you know, maxed out settings is anti-aliasing was off. Now it's maxed out at 8 times, and everything else is maxed out as well, except for PhysX, and VSync is going to be off. So we're going to run it at these settings, 1920 by 1080. So I'll get back to you on that. Alright guys, I already started the benchmark on Batman Arkham Asylum maxed out on the 6850. Again, anti-aliasing at 8x, 1920 by 1080. And so far it looks, to the naked eye, just ultra smooth, and the details are awesome. So we'll get to the results. Alrighty guys, just finished running the final benchmark on Arkham Asylum on the 6850. Everything maxed out except for PhysX, of course. Minimum frames of 74, a maximum of 159, and an average of 118, which is extremely well. Everything ran fucking smooth. It looked fabulous at 1920 by 1080. So this graphics card is fucking great. For being a mid-range graphics card for the price range, so far it's fucking been really good. So on to the next gaming benchmarks. Alright then guys, I'm going to be doing a benchmark of Mafia 2, and I'm just going to be doing everything at maxed out, since this card so far has been performing very well at 1920 by 1080. Full screen, VSync is off, brightness at 5, anti-aliasing on, AF at 16x, shadow quality high, ambient occlusion on, geometry detail high, apex physics is going to be off, obviously. So we're going to go back and we're going to run the benchmark. So you can see here some of the gameplay of the actual benchmark running. See there the 1090T at 4 gigahertz. It's a 6850, 1920 by 1080 at 60 hertz. And you can see right now so far an average of 45.5. To the naked eye, it's running very smooth. And we'll get back to the results. Alrighty guys, our benchmark just completed. I got an average of 41.3 with a rank of C. You can see there when I'm running Windows Ultimate's Windows 7 Ultimate, the 1090T, the 6850, 16 gigabytes of memory, and 1920 by 1080 at 60 hertz. Yeah, I got a rank of C, which everyone wants to get an A or whatever, but it ran just fine, no hiccups, like normal gameplay to the naked eye. So I give it a solid thumbs up. Alrighty guys, I'm going to be doing a Far Cry 2 benchmark run. I'm going to be running this one as well, everything maxed out. 1920 by 1080, 8x anti-aliasing, Direct 3D 10, everything on ultra high, HDR on Bloom, everything maxed out basically. Be running this benchmark and see how the results go. Just to show a little bit of the gameplay here, or I'm sorry, the benchmark running. You can see the frames per second right now about in the 50s. And I'm running one loop on the Ranch Small. And it's running really smooth, even that little explosion right there. So we'll cut here and get back to the actual results. Alrighty guys, benchmark complete on Far Cry 2. See here a total frames of 2,795, total time of 51 seconds, average frame rate at 54.80, a max of 94.57, minimum of 41.27, which is really respectable, highly playable. So yes, Far Cry 2 is able to be maxed out with the 6850. Alrighty guys, I'm going to be running a benchmark of Metro 2033. As you can see, these are the settings I'm going to be running at, 1920 by 1080. I'm going to max everything out. DirectX 11, MSA at 4x, AF at 16x. Also, the Direct 11 options, we're going to have checked off tessellation. Okay, so we're going to run the benchmark and see how it goes. Alrighty guys, here's Metro 2033. Again, a recap, DirectX 11, 1920 by 1080, very high, MSA at 4x, AF at 16x, tessellation on, PhysX is off. Run the benchmark. So I'm going to let this run and let it finish and see how the results go. Alrighty guys, benchmark is complete on Metro 2033 with a 6850. You can see here are the results. Total frames of 1366, a total time of just under a minute, and average frame rate of 22.97, a max of 46.01, and a minimum of 7.82. Alrighty guys, I'm going to do some gameplay here on The Witcher 2, which is a really highly intensive game with the GPUs. This one I am going to start off with what they recommend, the auto detect best settings, and then I'll try it with everything maxed out with and without Uber sampling. So yeah, we're gonna click here on auto best detect settings, and by doing that it gives us a resolution of 720p basically. Some things enabled, some things disabled, graphics quality in a medium spec with Uber sampling disabled. I'm gonna run the game at 1920 by 1080 though. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna launch the game and see how well it plays with fraps running on the upper left hand corner. Alright guys, we'll see how I'm loading up The Witcher 2 with the settings that they recommend for it. See, upper left hand corner running about 30 frames per second. Pretty smooth.
I said attention, imbecile! Where are you from, Lucky?
Never really played this game too much. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just wandering around.
You sightseeing? You
Hey, one of you defeated the Grand Master and put down the rebellion. Hey, one of you defeated the Grand Master and put down the rebellion. See?
Apparently I can't slice anyone's head off and shit.
No reason to go in here.
What the fuck was that? Okay.
You're the one who crushed Salamandra.
But yeah, it's pretty smooth. Like, as you can see, like, I'm gonna get dizzy. But it's playable and it looks fantastic. So we're gonna stop here and we're gonna turn on everything maxed out except for Uber sampling. Alright guys, now we're gonna max everything out on ultra spec. The texture downscaling, we're gonna have none. Large memory, we're gonna do it a very large memory size, texture memory size. The LOD distance, we're gonna do far. Everything else is enabled. You know what? I'm gonna leave. No, I'll disable Uber sampling, and then I'll run it again with Uber sampling. Alright guys, launching Witcher 2 again with everything maxed out except for Uber sampling. You can see upper left hand corner of fraps about 28 frames per second, 24.
I said attention, imbecile!
Vulture said if you don't honor, he'll lift your
And make a Witcher's medallion out of him.
It's below 30 frames per second, but I'd consider it still playable. I don't know, and high battle scenes probably would lag. But right now with not so much action, still pretty smooth. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it here and turn on Uber sampling. Alrighty guys, final run of The Witcher 2 with everything maxed out at 1920 by 1080 with the 6850 graphics card, and I'm going to enable Uber sampling. Oh. enable that too. Dangling at objects limit. You know what? I'm gonna just leave that disabled because it was disabled last time. Whatever. So yeah, Uber sampling is on. Launching Witcher 2 and see how it performs. Alrighty guys, we're launched back in with Uber sampling on, everything maxed out. You can see right away it's in the teens, the frames per second. So yeah, 11 frames per second, it's not going to cut it. I could definitely feel and see an extreme lag.
You seek the king. He waits near the machine. No reason to go in here.
So yeah, it's not playable. Just wanted to do it for shits and giggles. But basically, The Witcher 2 is playable at medium to high settings with the 6850, so I still give it a solid thumbs up with The Witcher 2. Alrighty guys, I'm going to be doing some gameplay on Call of Duty Black Ops. Some online gameplay. Again, I'm going to run this all maxed out 1920 by 1080, anti-aliasing at 8x. We're going to turn off VSync, see how that goes, see if there's any tearing, because I feel it's going to run flawless. Everything maxed out as you can see here. I'm going to apply that. Okay, you can see upper left hand corner of Fraps running about 80 or so right now, just in the menus. I'm going to back off on that. You know what? I'm sorry, I'm going to do campaign. Alright, doing some actual gameplay here at the very beginning of the game.
Clear them out. Move up the street. Hold, take away.
And I got ran over. Well, basically, not much more I could say about it. Game right now is 91 frames. I'm sure if I turn on VSync or whatever it is, it'd be capped at 60 and stay at 60. So, Call of Duty Black Ops maxed out. Plays perfect. Again, thumbs up on the 6850 for a single graphics card. So yeah, this has been really pathetic gameplay of Call of Duty Black Ops, but just to show you that it works and it will run the game. Alright then guys, I'm going to be doing some gameplay of Crysis 2 on the 6850. We're going to go here to the advanced graphics and we're going to run everything on Ultra. Okay. Oops. You know what? Let's just apply that. No big deal. Go to graphics, Ultra, DX11 enabled. Applying that. You can see everything is on Ultra. Motion blur I'm disabling. I'm not a big fan. With the high res texture pack. Applying that. Let's load a mission here. Let's, I don't know, let's just do that one. Just on recruit. And we'll go from there, see how it goes. Alright then guys, alright, doing a recap on the settings. Everything's maxed out. DX11 high res pack, Ultra, 1920 by 1080. Right now it's at 30 frames per second.
I'm seeing a lot of cell activity on the streets around the command post. Looks like the Sev have got them spooked. Keep heading search.
See the frames right now dropping down into the 16 range. It's a little choppy, and there's not much going on right this second.
Multiple SAP runners approaching checkpoint Delta.
Let's get up to some action.
Emerald 3 is inbound.
See, basically, it's been running at about 30 or so, but it does drop down into the teens. To the naked eye, it played okay. I think I'm gonna have to turn down some of the settings for it to be a little bit smoother, and we'll see how that goes. Alrighty guys, I'm going to continue the gameplay at high settings instead of ultra. Just running at high VSync off. DirectX 11. Applying that. Right away you can see frames have shot up to about 43 frames per second. The high-res texture pack is on. So we're going to resume our gameplay. Right away I noticed it feel a lot smoother and a lot more responsive and faster. So yeah, I'm running right now 50, 60 or so. Oh yeah, it's running much better at high settings, and it doesn't I mean, there's nothing really going on yet. Try to blow some shit up. Get some action here. Again, running all at high settings. So you can see the game plays fucking extremely well. Really smooth. It still looks really bitchin' even at high settings with the DirectX 11 and a high-res texture pack. So yeah, this has been some gameplay of Crysis 2 with the AMD ATI Radeon 6850. Alright guys, this is going to be the end of my video. Just a little recap. Final thoughts of the 6850 and how it performed in real world performance and benchmarking. I give it a solid thumbs up. It really surprised me. Basically it could play every title out there right now. medium to high settings at 1920 by 1080, with the exception of a few titles like Crisis 2, Metro 2033, stuff like that. But other titles like Dirt 3, Dirt 2, Call of Duty Black Ops, it plays it flawlessly, maxed out, and really surprised. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, I highly appreciate that. I'm gonna be installing this graphics card in a future PC build that I'm doing. I just wanted to do a video of benchmarking on it and stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned on the future parts of the build. Just a little hint, I'm going to be doing installing this power supply here, the Ultra X4 750 watt fully modular bronze 80 plus bronze power supply. So yeah, that's a little hint on it. And I know it's a little overkill for the graphics card, but I'm doing this build aiming it towards more on upgradability to future crossfire configuration on the 6850s if the customer wants to upgrade to that, which I would highly recommend, because I'm sure they'll perform really well in the crossfire configuration, and I'm sure they'd be able to max out every single game. So yeah, thanks for watching again. Last little showing of the 6970s I have there, just sitting there on my desk. And please stay tuned for the next videos.